The Grassroots referee mental health crisis. Why we can't cope our way out of a broken system. Fellow referees, let's be brutally honest about what's happening to us. You know the routine. Another weekend, another match where you'll be screamed at, questioned, insulted, and quite possibly threatened. You'll drive home alone, replaying every decision, wondering if you made the right calls, and asking yourself why you put up with this treatment for what amounts to pocket change and a genuine love of the game. If you're reading this, chances are you're struggling. Maybe you're having trouble sleeping before matches, feeling your stomach churn as you drive to the pitch/ground, or finding yourself snapping at family members after particularly hostile games. Perhaps you've started avoiding certain fixtures, questioning every decision you make, or seriously considering hanging up your whistle for good. Here's what I want you to understand from the very beginning. Your distress is not a personal failing. It's a rational response to an irrational situation. For too long, we've been told that the abuse, intimidation, and lack of support we face are simply part of the game. We've been handed resilience training and told to develop thicker skin, as if the problem lies with our inability to cope, rather than with a system that has fundamentally failed to protect us. We've been gaslit into believing that if we're struggling mentally, we're somehow not cut out for officiating. This narrative is not just wrong, it's dangerous, and it needs to end. The uncomfortable truth: we're being failed by the system. Let's call this what it is. Grassroots football has created a toxic environment where referees are treated as acceptable targets for frustration, anger, and aggression. The statistics don't lie. We're hemorrhaging officials at an alarming rate, especially young refs. And the primary reason isn't a lack of passion for the game or insufficient training. It's the relentless abuse we endure and the shocking lack of support we receive when we report it. The culture of disrespect toward referees didn't emerge in a vacuum. It's been cultivated, tolerated, and in some cases actively enabled by governing bodies that prioritize image over action. How many respect the referee campaigns have you seen that amount to nothing more than posters and platitudes? Meanwhile, meaningful sanctions for abuse remain rare. Appeals processes favor clubs over officials. And the disciplinary systems are so cumbersome that many of us don't bother reporting incidents because we know nothing will come of it. Leagues and competitions that treat referee welfare as an afterthought. When was the last time your local league proactively asked about your well-being? How often do administrators follow up after you've reported abuse? How many leagues have genuine zero-tolerance policies that they actually enforce? A football culture that has normalized the dehumanization of referees. We've allowed a narrative to take hold that referees are fair game for any level of vitriol because we're ruining the game or don't understand football. This isn't passionate support. It's systematic bullying of individuals who are trying to facilitate the very game these people claim to love. The result? A mental health crisis among grassroots officials that's been hiding in plain sight. Understanding the real impact on our mental health. The mental health challenges we face as referees aren't just about handling criticism. They're about navigating a consistently hostile work environment while being told it's our responsibility to cope with treatment that would be unacceptable in any other context. The isolation is real, and it's crushing. Unlike players who have teammates and coaches who have squads, we operate in psychological isolation. We arrive alone, make decisions alone, face criticism alone, and drive home alone. When things go wrong, we often have no immediate support network to help us process the experience. This isolation isn't just uncomfortable, It's a significant risk factor for depression and anxiety. The hypervigilance is exhausting. Constantly scanning for potential threats, monitoring crowd reactions, and anticipating the next wave of abuse creates a state of chronic stress that extends far beyond the 90 minutes on the pitch. Many of us find ourselves in a state of heightened alertness that impacts our sleep, our relationships, and our ability to enjoy other aspects of life. The self-doubt is corrosive. When you're constantly told you're incompetent, biased, or corrupt, it becomes increasingly difficult to trust your own judgment. This doesn't just affect our officiating, it seeps into other areas of our lives, undermining our confidence in professional and personal contexts. The anticipatory anxiety is debilitating. For many of us, the dread begins days before a match, particularly if we've history with either team. We lie awake replaying potential scenarios, imagining hostile crowds and preparing for confrontations. Some referees report feeling physically sick before certain fixtures, and many have developed patterns of avoidance that limit their involvement in the game they once loved. These aren't signs of weakness or unsuitability for officiating. They're predictable psychological responses to sustained stress and hostility. The problem isn't with us. It's with the environment we're expected to operate in. Next, Part 2. If you're struggling with your mental health as a result of your officiating experiences, please seek support. Visit the Hub of Hope for accessible resources, or speak to your GP about how you're feeling. Remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. If you've experienced abuse or threats while officiating, document the incident and report it through the appropriate channels. Follow up if you don't receive an adequate response. You deserve protection and support. Most importantly, you're not alone in this. Connect with fellow officials, share your experiences, and remember that together we have the power to demand and create positive change.